Uh,
You want to touch on Jadon Sancho a little bit?
yeah, sure, we can.
So the news circulating with Jadon Sancho, as it always has been Premier League. But what's interesting this week is Bayern bosses have basically, I'm sorry, Dortmund bosses have basically come out and said that they're still going to be demanding around that 130 price tag for him. They said full value, and that's where most people are putting him right now, in that range. They said regardless of the virus, that's what we're going to be demanding. You have to show us that money to get him. My question: would someone be willing in this environment to go out and pay that? And I'm not asking right now whether Sancho wants to leave or if he is going to leave. Just theoretically, because I believe Dortmund when they come out and say that, just historically, when they want to get a price for a player, they tend to get it, which is why they continue to develop despite losing talent. Is that they make money and they go get a lot of times even better players than they had previously. So I like to get your sense on that one.
Yes, someone will pay that. Even in this crisis, someone will pay that. It will probably be a Premier League team, I think almost exclusively at this point. There's I'm just trying to think around other clubs. Just no other club outside of the Premier League comes to mind that's in a position to spend that kind of cash on a player that would want that player. You know, right. I think Real could go out and splash that cash on it, but it's very clear where their mind is. You know, they're looking in Paris and nowhere else for that wing option. So I got to imagine, you know, those big name clubs in the Premier League that someone's going to get desperate. Someone's going to make a crazy financial choice and splash the cash. And Jadon Sancho is going to find himself back in England. But if I'm Dortmund, I hold out. Because you don't have to sell him this year. I realize that it would make more sense probably to sell him as Tyler has taken his little trip from Munich.
Got to show some love. Got to show some love, seeing little Duna.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, the big one right now has been United, and I'm with you. I could see them spending that money on him, just because they desperately want to be relevant in that pack of teams, which they haven't been, and that's got to be eating them alive. But if I'm Sancho, don't do it. Chelsea, I could see. I think would be a better fit for him and better chances of winning. I mean, you're getting to play with Odoi again. You're getting to play with a lot of really young talent. Chelsea is a decent squad. Unlike United, I do think that Chelsea is decent.
At least with Chelsea, there seems to be a clear plan. They're building towards something. There's a viable future of the club. They're going somewhere, right?
Yeah, exactly. The key there, Frank Lampard. I like what he's done for the most part. What he's done there. United is directionless.
Yeah, it's look over their table real quick. Chelsea is in Champions League position, 3 points ahead of United, who sits outside of Champions League position. From what I remember, Man United has played well of late. They are actually one of only two clubs to take points off of Liverpool this season. But I don't see where they're going. It doesn't seem to make sense. They don't have building blocks set up to be successful. I mean, they're talking about losing Pogba as well. Where's this team going? Why would you go from a team that clearly is determined to build around you and Erling Haaland, who's going to be in Champions League? I don't know. Logically, I don't see why you would go anywhere beyond Dortmund.
Yeah.
I understand you are English, you want to go home. Like that I can understand.
Yeah, and my thing with that too is if you are losing those players, I do get the sense that you can pitch it to him in that way, saying, hey, we're losing these guys. You're going to be our centerpiece now. But even if United paints a really pretty picture of what the future is going to look like. As you said, they've put none of the groundwork to get that done. So literally bringing in Jadon Sancho in a lot of ways to be square one versus a Dortmund team that is much further ahead on that trajectory and can say, you're here. We already have those pieces around you. You're already thriving. We're only going to get better versus a project that you're going to go back to. And this is what I think that you helped me sum it up a lot better than what I was trying to say last week, is that if you want to go to one of those projects like that, at least get some success first. If you want to go to a square one project, when you've reached like a really high level of your career and you've been satisfied with what you've been able to accomplish, great. But I think probably one, maybe two more seasons at Dortmund, and then go to one of those projects, after maybe you fought for a Bundesliga, maybe even got a Bundesliga title. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. But I can see where they're coming from, a lot of these clubs. Chelsea, you've got, like you said, you got that young core. That wouldn't be a lot more appetizing to me. You're getting to play with your boys again. A team that looks like it's going somewhere. With United again, we can say, hey, we're going to build from square one around you. But I think at his age, you may not want to take on that responsibility, especially going back home. You have to wonder where the head's going to be at. We've seen so many players like that end up taking their career, not quite the Neymar situation, but I think there are some similarities with that. A lot of people wonder, what would happen with Neymar if he hadn't left Barca, if he hadn't tried to go to PSG. And I know that's a whole another situation there, but it's a similar situation where PSG said, we're going to build around you. You're going to be the centerpiece here. Didn't quite end up that way,
Sorry, I'm a little distracted because going to Jadon Sancho's Wikipedia page, senior club, Liverpool, spelled with 3 L's at the end, 3 appearances in 2017, and then 2017 to present, Liverpool. Not spell, neither one is capitalized. Current team is listed as Dortmund. Just sort of odd. Looks like maybe somebody went and edited his Wikipedia page as a joke or something, trying to get him to Liverpool. A lot of the information is correct, but just noticing that
I see that too.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot, and I think that highlights the point that this is a very hot topic right now, and also highlights the point that a lot of people have too much free time right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a man. Look, guys, we're not going to be done talking about this one for a long time, regardless of what happens. He's going to be a talking point. He's been a talking point. He's going to continue to be a talking point. But I think the golden nugget from all of this is who in their right mind is going to drop 130. Kenan said it best, is going to be probably somebody in England to bring the boy back home. So continue to watch it.
Yeah. You think he goes back to City if they lose Sana?
I don't think it's interesting because City has not really been one of the main ones in talking. And I think that City, I honestly feel like City's got to lay low. Just given everything that's been going on with them, for them to come out and drop 130 and not have Champions League football, at least right now, I don't see it. Don't see Liverpool really either. I know a lot of people pushing for that one. I think Timo Werner is more likely candidate, but we can also touch on Timo and the chances of him actually leaving. I think prior to the virus, it looked like a good option. I could really see him in that system. But now I think that's kind of up in the air. But I really think I do think it's going to be between United and Chelsea, realistically. But I guess anything could happen.
Yeah,
like, why go to City? If this is upheld, who would want to go to City? And not play Champions League football. That blows my mind. But again, that's the big assumption that's upheld, which I think that ultimately they will be playing Champions League next year.
Yeah, that's my point.